What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday to you. I want to have this special episode of Sunday's Best, being this is the NASCAR championship this particular Sunday. I thought it was perfect timing. Well, let me go ahead and clear the air. This video right here is going to be a whole lot of clearing the air. For the record, my disclosure, when it comes to the question, do I hate building NASCARs or have anything against NASCARs? The answer is quite the opposite. I actually love NASCARs. I've only built one NASCAR. It's the one you're looking at. This is a 1997 Ford Thunderbird driven by Jarrett. Now, I probably left you with more questions than answers with that particular response I gave. Well, if you don't have an issue with NASCARs, why don't you build them anymore? Well, for me to properly answer that question, I have to go back and look at my childhood when I first discovered NASCARs and had a passion for them. It started with my father. My father was a big NASCAR fan. Some of my earliest childhood memories go all the way back to the age of 4, sitting in front of the TV right after dinner and just watching my dad watch NASCAR. His favorite driver at the time was Richard Petty. I can hear Pops now sitting on the couch. Go, Richard, go! Go, Richard! Go, Richard! And I just be fascinated watching him, so excited, watching these cars go around this track. So that's where it started. It started with my father. And as you know, when it comes to NASCAR, drivers retire, then you find you another driver. Throughout the years, my father had several drivers. And for me, trying to be just like my pops, whoever his driver was, it was my driver. For a long time, that's how it was. When Richard Petty retired, I believe we picked up Sterling Martin. After Sterling Martin, it was Jarrett. I built this car in 1999. I want to say it was a Father's Day present one year for my dad. Our favorite driver at the time was Jarrett. And I even purchased this 1/64 scale NASCAR to go with it. Now, this is a Ford Taurus, but it was still fitting the theme. Pretty cool. And the day I gave this car to my dad, I was really proud. Put a lot of effort into it. All these decals. My hat goes off to guys and gals who build NASCARs all the time, because it's a real challenge with these decals. Because if you never built a NASCAR, you would think, well, it's not that hard. All you gotta do is put one color on it and throw all the decals on it. Yeah. The decals is harder than the paint job when it comes to NASCAR. But like I said, I was very proud of this car. Over 20 years old, been through a whole lot. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but it's still standing. I've only lost one tire in the 20 years I've been trying to keep up with this car. Because my dad eventually moved to a high rise, and I had a house at the time. So when my dad went to the high rise, he didn't have room for a whole lot of stuff. So for safekeeping, I brought the NASCAR to my house, and that's where it stayed. And eventually, of course, much years later, I was a grown man in the Army. I got my own driver. My driver was Jimmy Johnson. And my dad's last driver was Kyle Busch. And it's hilarious. Me and my dad would sit there and have so much fun watching the race, because I'd be rooting for Jimmy to win, of course, and he'll be rooting for Kyle Busch. And I'd be like, Dad, why do you like Kyle Busch? He came to Nashville and tore up our guitar. He tore the guitar up, Dad. He disrespected Nashville. And in my dad's eyes, when it came to Kyle Busch, he couldn't do anything wrong. And my dad would say, oh, he's just young. He'll grow out of that. He's a great racer. He's a God-fearing man, too. I like that. My dad was a preacher. But my dad passed away in 2011. And like I said, his last driver was Kyle Busch. And my dad was also my NASCAR watching buddy. I had a couple more NASCAR watching buddies after my dad passed away. My good friends, Mark and Kim. Shouts out to them. But it was just never the same. And even though I don't have a problem building a NASCAR or have a problem with NASCAR at all, like I said, I actually love the sport. I just haven't been able to watch it too much since my dad passed. But I want to say this was the best NASCAR I ever built. my first and my last, my Father's Day present. I don't know how in the world I could ever build another NASCAR and it top what I built for him, what this car meant to him and meant to me as well. And it's funny, right? A lot of times with these videos, no matter if it's over on the Black P.O.E, over here on One Team Garage, they're therapy for me, helping me work some things out in my head. And that's why I decided to share this. As I was thinking about making this video, sometimes I can be a walking contradiction, but I was like, you know what? I think I do have at least one more NASCAR in me, and that would have to be Kyle Busch Toyota Camry. I want to say that's what he was driving when he was my dad's last driver in 2011. That's some research I would want to do. That would be my second NASCAR and probably my last NASCAR, and I would dedicate it to my father. So in this case, I would like to say it's not personal, but it's very personal. And not personal in a bad way. I kind of want to feel like I retired my NASCAR building jersey and hung it up in the Raptors in honor of my father. But then I was making this video, and then I had another thought hit my head. It's like, is that what Pops really wants you to do? Since he's passed away, you stopped watching NASCAR? You say you would never build another NASCAR besides the Kyle Busch? And you know, both of y'all's favorite driver was Richard Petty, the king. Still is, always will be. So you got a couple more bills in you when it comes to NASCAR. Kyle Busch, Richard Petty. And for me personally, I will build my first NASCAR for myself. That would definitely be Jimmy Johnson's car. I think these cars and these builds are a great way to honor and cherish the memory of people that you lost. I built my late grandfather's car, you know. Y'all seen me build my grandmama's car. I'm gonna build my mom's car one of these days so I can find it. She had a mean Cadillac Coupe de Ville. I wanna build one of these days. But I really worked some things out making this video. I did. I don't think I've built my last NASCAR, but they're gonna be very sentimental to me when I build them. Whenever I do find Kyle Busch's car, the one he was driving in 2011, or whatever I can find that Kyle Busch was driving, because that was my dad's favorite driver when he passed away. There's no telling how long it would take me to complete that build, but it doesn't matter because the significance of it, the resilience of it, and the honor of that build, me honor my father and both our passion we had for NASCARs when we used to watch the races together. So I hope you've enjoyed this special episode of Sunday's Best. I started this episode thinking that this number 88, driven by Dale Jarrett, was the last NASCAR I will ever build. But something tells me that my father's spirit got on me and said, nah, this is not your last one. At least build mine, son. Build Kyle Busch's car. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all take care out there. Let's get to building.